Hello, everyone, and welcome to Infinite Integrations. I'm Tanys Coughlan from the Twillow Lifestyle Community, Twillow Lifestyle Academy. I am joined by my beautiful co-host, Jacqueline Richards.
Good day, everyone. I'm Jacqueline Richards. I'm your wealthy yogini, and I'm delighted to be here with Tanys so we can talk more about infinite integration.
Where infinite possibility meets daily practice.
And this is
Tagline.
episode 8. I love it.
I know. I don't know how we've gotten so far. It's gone so fast. It's amazing.
That's life, you know. That's life.
It is. It is indeed. So we are talking about integration in relationships today.
It's that.
What does that look like? Relationships.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had a little frog in my throat today.
Tickle. And it's interesting when we say relationships, I think so many of us thinks it's a specific relationship that it needs to be with a boyfriend or a spouse. I think we forget relationships are way more than that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there's all different kinds of relationships. We could talk about that, actually.
Yeah.
You know, just like there's different kinds of love. So this really is about love when we're talking about it this way. It's like energy is love.
Yeah.
And there's as many different kinds of love as there are people. That's my view, right? We've got our generalized categories. You know, we've got our romantic love. We have our friend love, we have our family love, we have our child and parent love, you know. But there's also love for like job. The collective, right?
Absolutely.
If we're just talking people, we got the collective.
Yeah.
And then of course, there's love for job, or there's love for doing certain things and all of that. So it's quite a broad category. So we're going to focus mostly on relationships today. But when we look at relationships, I mean, what is a relationship to you? What is that? What's your definition of that, Jack? What do you think that is?
Well, it's the relationship between peanut butter and chocolate.
Ooh.
See the look on your face? That's how I feel about relationships. And so notice how it didn't have to be a human being. It is the love of the experience. Yeah. It is the relationship that I choose to have with my chocolate and peanut butter. It's the relationship I have with the money that I use to pay for my chocolate and peanut butter. It's the relationship that I have when people say, I believe you had peanut butter. I smell it on your breath. That's
Mine, you probably got garlic today, but I'm just saying. But
relationship is so, I will say basic.
Mm-hmm.
It is what the emotional impact that things have for and to you, right? When we talk about ourselves, what's our relationship with ourselves? We've spoken about that, and we'll continue to speak about that. But relationships with our next step, our journey, relationships with people, things, spirits that will help us take those next steps, even in the present. What is a relationship is a great question, because I think you already said it. It could be so many, and then maybe not much at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a continuum, right? So every relationship that you have is going to be different.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So every relationship that you experience with each individual person will have its own nuances. Because even though we can be very authentic, as humans, we tend to be empaths. I'm speaking from my own experience. I shouldn't say everybody's like this, but for me anyways, we tend to we remember, oh yes, Jacqueline likes this, or she doesn't like this. So I'm not going to speak like this, or I'm going to speak like this because that's how she is. So I'm going to say groovy because Jacqueline says groovy all the time. Those kind of things, right? We automatically have those like nuanced things that we bring into different relationships. Or we understand that this friend is like really insecure, so we need to call them more regularly, or that kind of thing. So I think that that those beautiful nuances are really what makes up that whole continuum of types of love, right?
And
In what
interesting,
we
when
bring
we talk about relationships, what popped in is I have relationships with my clients.
Of course. Yeah.
And when I'm talking about their present stance, it is a relationship to help them move where they need to get to, which is what you teach all the time when you're talking about channeling, when you're talking about tarot card reading, when you're talking about Reiki. It is how, in that relationship, what does that mean to you and that questionable stranger that has said, how can you help me? Because I understand you can. And I would love to have that relationship with you because I need your services. I need for you to help me because I want to be in a better space.
Mm-hmm. And how do it? And when we talk about those kinds of relationships, how do we build relationships, right? Because relationship itself does not require trust, but when you're building a relationship with somebody, so you're getting to know them, you're building trust. Even like it doesn't matter if it's like a romantic relationship or a friendship, or even with our clients, we have to build that trust, that integration of the energies as they flow together, because you create a specific dynamic between you, right?
Yeah.
When you're in relationship with somebody, no matter what that is.
Yeah.
So what kind of factors do you think we should look at when we're building relationship? I think trust and respect are two of them, and
100.
communication styles, right?
Yeah, I just I did a quick presentation about what to do in the coming months. It's the holidays, and so what do you want to do with your budget, with your money, and part of it was, what is the language of love? When you're looking for a gift, a thank you, gratitude for someone who you have a relationship with, what is their love language?
Yeah.
And I understand there's 5 love languages. And as I went through that discussion, it was, wow, Tanys and I are going to be talking about relationships. And isn't this
Yeah.
interesting? I'd be talking about that this morning.
Of course, because spirit guides us.
Oh, indeed. Indeed.
So we look to relationship for community as well, right? I mean, community is super important. It's very difficult for people to live isolated with no other human contact. I mean, they've done studies on that and stuff. You can for a while, but it really does change who you are to live on your own without anybody around for long periods of time. I think that, and that's the value of having relationships in your life, whether even one good relationship is good. But
it's interesting, and it's by choice. When you're saying some are solo, some it's not by choice, and some it is.
mm-hmm.
And so how do you honor that in a love language, in respect for the relationship that you have, no matter how slim or how wide? How do you respect that and appreciate, understand without any judgment? I've heard so often, oh my gosh, why are you alone? Some of my friends are single. And that's a standard question. How come you don't have a relationship? Well, the answer is, by choice, I will live the life I want to live.
Yeah.
Absolutely fair statement.
Absolutely. But I think even people that are not in a romantic relationship, I think they still have other really valued relationships usually.
Gosh,
yeah. And I think it certainly seems as though really just having one, like just your partner, for instance, it's unfair of us, I think, to expect that one person can fill all of our needs as humans, because our needs are such a wide variety, right?
Yeah.
That I think that it's difficult for it would put a lot of pressure, I think, on one person to just be that.
Yeah. Everything to
Everything.
that one person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that interesting? As soon as you said that, I'm thinking about being a parent. I want to be the best parent. I want to give my child everything they need. And then sometimes as the years go by and through, everything you thought you gave wasn't seen like that. It shifted. It's good to know the shift because we think in that relationship we gave it all. And in some ways, our all wasn't their all. And it's about having that conversation in a relationship that's open and honest to say, I know you thought that, but that's not how I experienced it.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
each person has their own experience
100%.
of reality, right?
Mhm.
It's that whole my perception is my reality,
Yeah.
right? And your
Oh, I like
perception
that
is
one.
your reality. So, it happens that we don't share a close idea of reality kind of thing. But, it's just like I always use this example, right? What do you see?
A purple cell phone.
That's not what I see. I
Ah,
see a black cell phone. So it's the same thing. We're just seeing different
absolutely.
sides. It's a very simplistic thing, but you know what I mean.
Absolutely. You know what? It's the experience, and I know that I love relationships, and I want to know that I I offer honestly without judgment.
Yeah.
And it's that J word, not Jacqueline, that's J word, judgment, that
Yeah.
in a relationship can have it spiral up, spiral down, or a spiral in a pause.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing that comes to mind about this topic is emotional safety, right? We have to feel, well, not just emotional, but we have to feel safe in relation to somebody for it to be a good relationship,
Yeah.
right? So, and I think there's, we think about physical safety when we talk safety. We think, we don't want people in abusive relationships, obviously,
Yeah.
but there's also that emotional abuse and financial abuse and all of those things that can happen, and they can be very subtle, right? Or neglect abuse, like they're very subtle. And so, I don't want to get into the whole like psychology of it all because that's not my expertise, but I think just being aware that there's these kinds of things and, getting help if you feel that you are in that type of situation,
Yeah. Beautiful side note, because both Tanys and I work with communities that have clients with special needs.
Yeah.
And we know about the email, the phone number, and the website that we need to forward them to should they need help. And I know every one of you who's watching this know in some way, shape, or form, if you witness it, how you can help, whether it's anonymous or not.
Yeah.
Relationships, like you say, variety.
Depending on the relationship, yes.
I know people who do that.
Yes, we all do. So, Jacqueline, we mentioned money, like the financial abuse piece, but couples don't see eye to eye. It's about having that shared understanding around money. And I know there's a lot of couples that don't see eye to eye on that. You've been working for decades with couples and individuals, of course, around money. So what's the biggest block you see when people try to talk openly and lovingly about finances?
Yeah. Interesting. Walking into a relationship. So let's just say you've met online and you've had a beautiful relationship online, and then you meet. Same person, same human, and you are having the conversations as open and honest as you did online. So now you've decided you will be together. And I have to say, I'm delighted. I have a number of friends who met each other that way. Some have been married for 12 years, some have been married for 25 years. And they came into that relationship because they didn't have to see each other. They just felt the energy, they felt the vibe. They just, the notes, the conversations that they have, open, honest. So they get together. In year number 3, things may have changed. It may have been employment, money, what's coming in, who's making it. Now it's shifted and changed, but you're going all along at the same pace. That's a time when you have a conversation together.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a picnic. I love picnics because you're surrounded by nature and you get to sit down and you've got that great picnic basket, everything you love. So smoked salmon and baguette and cheese and chips. So you've got all of your favorite items. Then you say, I'm going to pull out my journal because I have a feeling that what's happening in the bank account isn't what was previously in the bank account. And there's things I'd like to have. So you get to sit down and talk about what your personal next stages are. I'd like to go on vacation. I want to go to Spain. And then they say, well, I like this home stuff. I like the picnic where we don't have to spend a lot of money. My car needs repairs like now. Well, I ride my bike and I think that should be okay. Why don't you ride a bike? I'm not going to ride a bike. And so it's that conversation where you forget to ask, what would you like? Where would you be? When you choose to have that conversation, then you come into the wellness of where you want to be. And sometimes you'll say, oh my gosh, I didn't know. I didn't think that. I should have asked. Well, now you will. In that relationship, if it's over coffee first thing in the morning, if it's a beautiful sparkling water at night before you head to bed, maybe you're playing your favorite music, ask the questions. Money should never be a secret because money is part of your dynamic. It's part of your energy.
Yeah.
And that's my suggestion. I've seen it, and that's sit down. Maybe it's and you know, I've had my vision board sessions. Sometimes just with a couple, sometimes with their family. I do that for corporations and their teams because everyone wants to know, where do you want to go? At least someone asked me where I want to go. And that way your boss knows where, and I don't care who the boss is. It could be your 13-year-old daughter. I know.
Hope not, but
there's time. There's time.
Yes. And I think, you know, that's the beautiful thing about things like strategic planning for business or your vision board or even family discussions about future stuff. You're really creating that shared understanding that also helps bring in shared goals. And when you can have those shared goals, that's when it's lovely to work towards them together.
Yeah.
Right? Because we can't do everything.
But wouldn't it be great to have raving fans for you? Because you said what you were looking for. And then, like you say, those little steps, you know, that was a tiny success, another tiny success, another tiny success. You know, 5 of those tiny successes is a big success.
Yes.
And then I can breathe deeply. Then I can lift my shoulders, take them back, drop them down, and then giggle about those beautiful moments where everyone was on board. You know, my goal wasn't your goal, but you got there.
Yeah. And celebrate with your relationship people, right?
Absolutely.
And that can mean different things to different people, of course, when we celebrate. So what's your favorite thing to celebrate your successes with?
Prosecco. No, yes. You know, sometimes for me to celebrate, it is, because I love the water. And so whether I take, because I still have my bike, whether I ride to the water, because that's, you know, that's a 30-minute ride, whether I walk to the water, drive my car to the water, I love having a seat with my water in hand. And sometimes on my cell phone, I would do that. I've got my mantras. I am strong. I am courageous. I am. So just listening to that again, you are strong. You are courageous. Good for you, Jacqueline. Good for you. You did it. And then I continued writing my journal because my journal knows exactly where I was going with that. Celebrating that way is brilliant for me. And then I would call my brother Jason J. Say, Jason J, guess what? Remember why I was talking about this a year ago? I got there. He is a huge support in silence, a support, a raving fan. Then it's, why don't you come to Hamilton and we'll hang out? That's a spectacular celebration for me.
And I call my friends. That's what I do. I call my friends. I call, of course, celebrate with my husband. And
me too.
Yeah.
Not your husband, my husband, my.
Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, okay. But yes. But doing that and for myself, I like to do something like self-care, like to celebrate, right?
Yeah.
So whether it's go to the spa, go to the saunas, get a pedicure, or even just have a nice cup of tea.
Yeah. Or
by the fire.
Oh, by the fire. Nice job.
Right now, like maybe with the holiday tree lit up.
Oh,
which is lovely.
Your space looks spectacular. She is the founding member of the Holiday Hurrah because she knows how to hurrah.
Yeah, we like our decorations. It's good. Yeah. And, I celebrate a couple of different things this time of year, right? There's Yule and there's also Christmas. Oh, and, some of my clients celebrate Hanukkah. So, it's all just celebration. So I think we just celebrate whatever resonates with us, right?
Exactly. And I love that. Happy Hanukkah, my neighbors. And I recognize that there's celebrating Hanukkah and there's another 2 other celebrations that I see my neighbors with. So they've got their lights outside. It's the holiday season, right? Depending on when you're listening to this, it's a holiday season. And I love walking, and it doesn't matter what the weather is, but their lights are so joyous. How often do we get to say that when we're celebrating our relationship is joyous? One of the things you'd say about it is stellar. Is it calm? Is it disruptive?
Yeah, I mean, not all relationships are positive, right? Sometimes we've got some, call them sacred relationships, which are ones that are there for learning or for working off karma, because we do have to have a variety. That's how we learn.
So true. So true. Interesting. Tell me about relationships that you've seen that have repeated itself. So whether it's, family members or friends or in your community, relationships that have not just recycled, but restructured.
Okay. So like with the same people.
Yeah.
So for me, I have a couple of close friends that they were close friends in high school. And then we lost track of each other because we all went to university, different places. And then I met them again within the last few years. Well, one of them is about 10 years now, but 10 or 15. And then the other one is like a little more recent. And those are really valuable to me because they knew me back then, but then now we're getting to know each other and who we are as adults, So we still have that sort of, the interesting thing about those kinds of relationships is that you sort of you like tether it from who you were when you were a teenager, but then it just blossoms and grows as adults, right? I mean, there are some that don't, I suppose, but my 2 examples did. And they've just become even closer. I find like somehow you when you reconnect with people, it's a faster growth for where you are. Do you know what I mean? You've got history. So there's stuff
Yeah.
to build on there. And it just seems easier stepping into those. So, rearranging or repurposing, you were saying relationships.
Repurposing.
They kind of are repurposing, really,
Yeah.
because usually you play different roles in these relationships when you bring them back again into your day-to-day now. But it's a lot of fun to do that. And there's also things like, some of my son's friends or whatever, who are grown up now and they're adults. And so they're now friends, like I consider them friends as well. Or my mom's best friend is also a best friend for me. So like these kinds of things, there's all these different nuances to relationships, right? And they carry different energy, and each and every one of them. So yeah, that's kind of a fun way to look at it, right?
I was busy decluttering because it's the time. Need to reclutter. So I was busy redefining what my office looks like, and I had it's a picture about this size, and it happened to be I was her bridesmaid when we graduated post-secondary.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was in, and I'm sure she'll be okay with this, she was in Sudbury when I met her, Mark's Day. And I had just come from Toronto into Ottawa. So we met at school. We had the best lunches. It was French fries and gravy and ketchup. Mm-hmm. And she introduced me to this great maple sauce. And I thought, we're going to be spectacular friends forever. So she got married, and I and my husband at the time went together. It was spectacular. And we no longer, like when we left, we like split. We led our own lives. So her daughter grew like my daughter grew. But we hadn't seen each other for now decades. Yeah. I couldn't help it, Tanys. I couldn't help it. Facebook is like Yellow Pages. And so I looked her up because I knew her maiden name and I knew her married name. And I connected with her. We had this great conversation. Oh my gosh.
Excellent.
And all it meant was we're still connected, and she's led a beautiful life, and as have I. And that's as far as a friendship, that conversation needed to go. It was just, hey, how are you? Decades later, when we talk about relationships, it doesn't have to be, oh my gosh, we're together forever. It is I remember the good times that we had together.
Yeah, and relationships ebb and flow, right? Yeah. They always say there are people that come into your life for a moment or a season, and some for a lifetime, right? Yeah. And some many lifetimes. I mean, I have a few friends that have been around for many lifetimes, one in particular, and she and I have done many, many lifetimes together, and you and I have done many lifetimes together. And so that just brings a whole nother layer to it, right? Because it's like this familiarity right when you meet, the very first time you meet. There's this very interesting connection. It's like, and it's through the eyes, right? You see each other and you're like, hello again. I think I might have even said that to you, actually. I mean, we met at a speed networking.
I thought she was going to say speed dating. No, not today.
Not today, no. But we did a speed networking, which is kind of like speed dating, but you're not looking for romantic. It's like looking for business connections.
Yeah.
And that's where we met the first time. Yeah. And I remember talking to you, and I was like, okay, I know her. And then we went for coffee, and we're like, we know each other.
Exactly. Serendipitous. I know we've spoken before.
Yep.
And not necessarily in this lifetime did we do this together, but here we are in this lifetime doing this together. And it was meant to be, right?
Absolutely.
And I would love to ask you, since we're talking about that sort of energy. How do you personally recognize a relationship dynamic that's coming from the soul contract? Because we're talking about this soul contract versus the human habit or a wound that this
Okay.
relationship is shown up for or by.
So I do sort of, I feel that we have soul contracts with people, even if it is coming up from a wound. I think there is a soul contract there. So there's usually we often call those karmic relationships. So they're things that we need to learn. So my feeling is that when we incarnate, we meet with our soul family and we're like, okay, you and I are going to meet when we're 4 and we're going to learn about sharing. And you and I are going to meet when we're 16 and learn about first love. And, you and I are going to meet. Yeah, we're going to get married and have you as a child. And so let's go do it now. So then we just jump into it and do it. And so but in that, our whole soul path, we have like this whole list of things of what it's like to be human. And so we have to go through and check off all our things. And in doing so, we also have to be all things. We have to play roles in all ways, right? So, we often will have to be in a relationship with an alcoholic, and we might have to be the alcoholic in different lifetimes, right? Or we might be the really bad person in one life, and then we might be the really good person in the next. Like we might be male in one life and female in another and neutral in another. So like there's all these different things that we need to learn here on Earth. This is like Earth school. And so we get into relationship with people to learn things and check them off on our list of what it is that we need to learn. And so for me, that would be my inclination. If you're in a relationship with somebody, you likely have a soul contract with them for that relationship. Now, I think there might be exceptions to that in terms of, no, I don't think there's exceptions. I think there's always there's always a soul contract of some kind, right? Having said that, we do have some free will. So that's I do want to say there are some leeway in that sense.
That's a thumbs up.
I think there's always a reason that we meet people or we get into relationship with them. I think really, even if we're in relationship with them, I think the piece when we know we've learned it is if we can actually, if we change relationships, if we're coming up with the same issues in both relationships, then we know that there's like a programming thing that we need to work on, right? Or we keep choosing the same kind of guy or the same kind of friend or the same, then we probably need to do some personal work, right? And figure out what it is. Where is this wounding coming from? What am I attracting? And oftentimes it's a part of us that we're not particularly fond of. So that's where the shadow work comes in. And we do that shadow work on things.
It's interesting. Who am I mirroring?
Yes.
And it's interesting how often we say, why did I do that again? Why did I pick that again? As shallow as, because it's shopping time and you decide to go out and buy an outfit because you happen to be dating someone who's taking out on this amazing dinner date. I want to look like I am the one they picked. And then you pick something that doesn't honor you, doesn't honor you, but you picked it because you thought that would honor them. So what is that soon to be relationship going to be like? You doing what the other wants, not recognizing really what you need.
Yeah. Well, and we often do that in relationships.
Yeah.
Right. We kind of give in and give our power away in a relationship. And that's not to say that we need to have everything our way all the time, because that's just not realistic either. We do want to be in service to our partner, as long as they're in service to you as well. So there needs to be both. It's like a give and take. Yeah. And that's where, you get over, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, there's the overgiving. You become an overgiver. in a relationship.
Yeah.
Whether that's emotional, whether you're doing all the work emotionally, whether you're doing all the physical work and the other person's not helping, or even financial.
Yeah. I was going to bring that up. So in a past life, I keep thinking, was I an accountant or was I a waitress? I'm not sure. I mean, both are service,
Yeah,
both about money. It's
yeah,
what what part did I want to play or did I need to play? I know, I think we all know people are like, you're the best mom ever, and I'm not even your child. Or you're the best driver. Let me use that one. You're the best driver ever because I did not see what was happening there, but you saw it. And, that's a physical drive of a car, a vehicle, or you're driving your business,
yeah.
driving the relationship, you're driving your own circumstances. And, people say, I didn't see it coming, but you did. Good for you.
Mm-hmm. You bring up that the relationship with your business, and what do you have a relationship with your business? Because your business is like an entity. It's like its own thing. And we do tend to have a relationship with business. In fact, we're actually writing a program on this, group of us. So it's about, bringing in those pieces to form the relationship with your business and really holding it with love. Right? You often hear people talk about their business as being their baby.
Oh, yeah.
It is kind of like that, right? You create it and then you hold it and you nurture it.
Yeah.
And that's how we bring it forward. So it is like a birthing process. And then,
Yeah.
you honor it and you support it through its evolutions, as it expands,
Yeah.
into what you were hoping for it to be. And we have a vision, just like we do when we're parents, right? We have this vision of what we would love our child to be. Now, it could be as simple as we would love them to be happy. And
Yeah.
that's our vision for them,
That's it.
and sometimes people get a little more detailed, and maybe that's where those relationships tend to, have a
Balance.
downside.
Yeah. We're going to talk about balance on that one.
Yeah.
Does it continue to be balanced when you say, I thought you were going to be a doctor, and then
Yeah.
you decided to be a yogi? Same thing, though. It's
Yeah. All about
not
the body,
that way.
all
Yeah.
about healing. Just a different way of doing it. Yeah, it's true. It's quite fascinating when we look at these things. I mean, we're in relationship with so many different things, right?
Very much so. Very
Mm-hmm.
much so.
So, and I mean, it is about values too. You want to have shared values when you're in relationship with people, because that's what helps create the rapport or the dynamic within the relationship.
Yeah.
And that can be shared values with friends and family, or again, like with your business. That's why you write mission statements and value statements, all of
Exactly.
those things, vision statements, mission statements, create your values,
Yeah.
all of those things. Mm-hmm.
Because people are watching the company you birthed.
Exactly.
So whether it's a toddler, still a baby, a toddler, a 2-year-old, what do they call that? The terrible twos. Businesses have that.
They
Terrible
do.
twos. And they have extraordinary moments where they are the enterprise that people love to acknowledge, who people rave about, because you've done what needed to get done. They have their shoes, they have their socks, they have their tights, they have their t-shirt, they've got their ball cap, they've got their sunscreen, if that's what they want. You've taken care of that business as your relationship continues to grow. And
Yeah.
it's interesting how people see that. When you talk about your business, when you have the opportunity to speak to your community, to speak to audiences online, offline, they know what your business feels like when you have that conversation in relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So there's also about finding that balance.
Hmm.
So work-life balance is one of those balances, right? For
Ooh.
your business. Entrepreneurs struggle with that. But there's also that finding the balance in a relationship, right? How do we find that balance? How do we bring that back if we find that it's not balanced? Like for me, I think it's about, if I'm putting out too much, I got to do some self-care stuff, do some stuff for me. And then people say that and you're like, what does that mean? What does it mean to do stuff for you? What is self-care? And I think there's many things that would be considered self-care. So I think that's, there's things that, and I always recommend looking at all three areas, right? Your physical, your mental, emotional, and then your energetic or your spiritual.
Yeah.
So like, if we can do one of those every day, we're really in good shape.
Yeah. And wouldn't it be great to write yourself a note when you sense what, in whatever relationship that you are responding to? Would you not write yourself a letter to you? Because I do this all the time. Hey, Jacqueline, you should see some of my letters. There is half a page or 3 pages. Okay, so how are you feeling today? What's happening in your business? How are people responding to your business? Are you telling people about your business? What things can you do? And technically, it sounds like I'm going over what the business plan was, but I'm writing a note to myself because maybe I got too befuddled in the energy of money to forget to forget about the flow.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I just took that opportunity for self-love to talk about this business that I've birthed, all of a sudden at the end of that letter, I think, now I understand. Now I understand.
Yeah. Well, and the self-love and self-care is all that relationship with self,
Absolutely.
right? So you have to, and that's the other thing to know. We have to tend our relationships, whether it's friendships, whether it's spouses or partners, whether it's family or ourselves.
Yeah.
We have to tend the relationships. We can't just leave them be.
While you said that, I was thinking your accountant will help you tender your business relationship too.
There you go. So will your strategic marketing.
Touche.
Yeah. And your social media gurus.
Exactly. And so all you've said is it's about your mastermind group that's helping you tender. And that mastermind group could be for business. Oh my gosh. It could be for your couples relationships. It could be about when you decide to do more sports. There's a mastermind group that's there to help you. You need to choose that. It could be an invisible group, a physical group. Or maybe
In other words, your spirit team.
Yeah. See, she said that. I get that. There's 12 of them. Just saying, why doesn't she just say your spirit team?
I heard that too.
I did.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. And it's interesting. Sorry, that money part, it could be your financial parent. And that's what I talked about, your financial child. Earlier today, I talked about how you could find your mortgage. And if you're unable to make it work through your financial resources, there's other ways to invite family to help. There's other ways to invite other modes of financial, we'll say, stability into that realm. And so we did talk about parents and child. How can we help them find that place to not just balance, but rebalance where they're at? When we look at that, where do you want to be? Where are you at? Let's not be nervous about it. Let's not be nervous about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's always a difficult one,
Mm-hmm.
I think another component we didn't talk about was honesty. We talked about respect and building trust. And of course, trust, it goes hand in hand with honesty and being honest with yourself as well as those around you. And that's, also part of being authentic.
Yes.
If you try to put on a mask of being somebody else in a relationship, it's not going to last because you can't keep up a mask.
See, you said try. I think people do put on that mask. And then it comes a time where they really do have to take it off because they've been asked to take it off and be open.
Yeah.
And albeit could be frightening, allow yourself to be surrounded by people in relationship to help you, who will take your hand, who will give you a hug, who will serve you tea or peanut butter and chocolate.
Or just hold space for you even.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes that's all we need. Somebody to sit there with us.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's what you do in Reiki as well, isn't it? Hold space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Create energetic space. It's what we do in ceremony as well, right? We create sacred energetic space and just sit in ceremony. And there's something special about that. It's having a relationship with our guides, right? Our spirit guides. And that's a relationship as well. We don't talk about that but as often, but you know, we are in relationship with our spirit guides. You know, if we communicate, we chat, and we're always, you know, they're always there. So they're supporting us. So chatting to them helps us to understand that relationship and build a communication style that works. So.
Absolutely. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Well, I can't believe we're already like at the end of our time.
Stop.
I know, it goes so fast. It goes so fast. What have you got going on this week? You got anything that's coming up for you that you want to share?
Yep. Well, we still have yoga at 5:30 on Friday, and it's a beautiful 90 minutes. That's it. That's all. But that 90 minutes, sorry, the 60 minutes will allow you to walk away a little taller, sit a little calmer. And we continue to have the yoga for your personal finances on Sundays. Pop in. If you're interested, do let me know, let us know, so that we've got, we send you out the link to be able to be in that space.
Yeah. And yes, and you have, so we have a special deal on the yoga right now, only till the end of the month. So you've only got this week.
4 days. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if you sign up for one of Jacqueline's yoga classes at twillowlifestyle.ca and you put in free yoga as the coupon code, you'll get a free class. Okay, just one per person, but it'll give you a free class. So come and join us. Come and hang out. Let's do some yoga.
Okay. And we'll continue to inhale, lift our shoulders, take them back, release them down. We will continue that.
Beautiful. And yeah, so we will see you all. I believe I have Galactic Gab on Friday evening at 7:30. And we will have, of course, our Twillow Talk on Monday. And those of you that are in the Ottawa area, we do have Enlightenment Evening as well on Monday, which is an in-person get-together. So that's why I say those in the area, in Ottawa. We do have, or surrounding, of course, we do have that happening as well on Monday evening. All right. So that's kind of our update for what's going on. It's not work, really. I don't feel it's work. But the stuff that's coming up.
Yeah.
And we are coming into a beautiful season of lots of connection and lots of relationships. So let's integrate those relationships into our life in a way that is positive and full of love.
Did you want to do a little mini meditation before we go?
Oh, we usually do that, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
see,
we do.
I thought she was going to do the light language, but she didn't yet. And I didn't do the yoga, but I did ask you to take a breath, lift the shoulders, take them back, drop them down, and sit tall. That's good.
That's good. That is yoga. We shall do that.
That's always
and
yoga.
While you are doing that, let's do an energetic activation.
Okay.
taking a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And just repeating after me, please. I give and receive in perfect harmony.
I give and receive in perfect harmony.
My relationships reflect balance, love, and truth.
My relationships reflect light, balance, and truth.
And they do want to come in with a little bit of light language. So let's do a little bit of that as well. Remembering that you don't need to understand what I'm saying. Just feel the energy, please. Ayaturi tikenaya turi. Iskira tenaya tutori kira mamaya turi. Eski aya amatarati. Ira netikitanaya tutoroti amaya. Astikaya tanaya. Intananaya tataya. Aya tataya. Intidira tinkinaya. In your relationships, lead with love, and let love lead you. And we shall see you next week. Same time, same place.
Thank you so much. That was spectacular. Again.
Thank you. Have an awesome week, everyone. We'll see you soon.